Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another freezer meals video. These are all going to be super quick and easy freezer meals that you can just throw into the crock pot or you can pop them into the oven. But they're going to be really easy to pull out when you're having a busy day, or if you're postpartum and you need some really quick and easy meals after having a baby. This will be perfect for you. So I hope you will stay tuned. If you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you over on my channel. I share a lot of really easy cooking content and other fun recipes, so definitely stick around if you want to be a part of that. To start off, I'm making a chicken taco chili. I have been making this for years. You're just going to need a bunch of canned goods, a couple cans of diced tomatoes, some beans, a couple cans of tomato sauce, corn, and then for seasonings, you're just going to need some ground cumin, garlic powder, chili powder, black pepper, salt, and then some taco seasoning. I'm gonna have this full recipe linked down below for you guys though, so it'll be really easy for you to follow along with. But I'm actually starting off by writing on my actual Ziploc bag. It's so much easier to do this before you add all of the ingredients in. Sometimes I will forget and then I regret it, but this is just gonna be a crock pot meal. So like I said, I'm gonna have everything written out down below for you guys of how you're going to cook this. For the chicken, I'm just using 2 whole chicken breasts. These were fresh, but you could also throw frozen in there if you wanted to. There's no problem with that. And then you're going to want to take your corn and your black beans, and you're going to want to rinse and drain those off. You're also going to dump in your 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I always like to use the petite diced tomatoes. It's just my personal preference here, but you can use whatever you like in your chili. And then I'm also adding in 1 can of chili beans, but you don't need to drain those ones off. You can leave the chili sauce in there. One of my favorite little kitchen gadgets is this Kitchen Mama can opener. It's a really nifty little tool. It will open all the cans for me while I'm running around and dumping in all of the other ingredients. So I'm just letting that open up my cans while I'm dumping in my taco seasoning. I add in a full packet of just regular taco seasoning mix, and then I'm also adding in 1 heaping tablespoon of chili powder, about half a teaspoon of some garlic powder, probably about half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then I'm also adding in probably half a teaspoon of ground cumin, as well as about half a teaspoon of some salt. Of course, you can just add that to taste later on though if you want. And then I'm adding in my 2 cans of tomato sauce. These are just these smaller cans, and that's gonna be it. This is a really easy recipe. You're just gonna kind of marinate it all together, let it mix together, throw it in the freezer, and this will just get tossed right into the crock pot. This chicken taco recipe is super simple. It has very minimal ingredients and it only takes a couple of minutes to throw together. So I'm starting off with about 2 to 3 chicken breasts, just depending on the size. I'm dumping in 1 can of rotel tomatoes, about a teaspoon of ranch seasoning mix, and then for the taco seasoning, I like to add about 3/4 of the packet. You can add a little bit more if you want to, but I like to do a little bit less for this one, and that's gonna be it. It's super simple. Of course, you could add some diced up onions here, green peppers, whatever you want to add, but I'm just keeping this super simple, and you're just gonna throw this in the crock pot on high for about 4 hours when you pull it out of the freezer, and you should be good to go. It's a really easy dump and go meal. For this next one, I'm going to be making some tater tot hot dish, which is one of my all-time favorites. I think it's more of a Minnesota thing, or at least a Midwest thing for sure, but I'm just starting off by getting all of my ground beef ready to go. I actually picked up all of my ground beef on sale at our local grocery store, so I'm cooking up all of it, even though I only needed part of it for the tater tot casserole, but I'm just seasoning this up pretty good with some onion powder, garlic powder, as well as just a little bit of salt and pepper. I don't do anything super crazy here, but I do like a little bit of extra flavor to my ground beef. After my ground beef has completely cooked, I am just draining off all of the excess fat into my colander. I always just strain it over a bowl and then I will dump it out, not into my sink because obviously I don't want to put fat down there, but then into my bowl here I am putting in about a pound of ground beef. It works out to be a little over 2 cups when I measure it out this way. So that's going to be for one tater tot hot dish, and then I'm adding in 1 bag of mixed veggies. You can do a little bit more or a little bit less. I'm also adding in 1 large onion that I just softened in the microwave. And then for some extra flavor, of course you guys know I'm going to add in a little bit of garlic powder as well as some black pepper. I don't add any extra salt just because I'm going to be adding in 2 cans of cream of mushroom, and that has quite a bit of sodium in it, so I don't like to add any extra salt to mine. So now you can see me dumping in those 2 cans of cream of mushroom, and then I'm just going to mix all of this together. This next step is technically optional, but I always put cheese in mine. I just really enjoy it. I usually will put in cheddar cheese or Colby and Monterey Jack, and I'll just kind of mix it throughout, probably maybe like a cup or so, or sometimes I'll actually just sprinkle it on top if I want to do it that way. And then you're just gonna throw this into an aluminum pan so it'll be nice and freezer friendly. Spread it out into 1 layer, and then we're gonna throw on all of our tater tots. So like I mentioned, I'm actually making 3 different tater tot hot dishes on this night. So there are my 3 pans there. They turned out super good. And now I'm just ready to top them with my tater tots. So I picked up this 5-pound bag of tater tots at Walmart. I think it was like $5 or so. And it made quite a few tater tot casseroles. I definitely got a good 3 out of them. And I could probably do about half of another one. So this is a great freezer meal. It's pretty budget friendly. And I'm just gonna layer all of my tater tots right onto these casseroles. Now you don't have to make them all perfect like I do. This is just always how my mom did it, so that's how I grew up doing it. But you could honestly just dump them on there and it would be totally fine. It would still taste amazing, but just get all of your tater tots on there. When you do go to cook this, you're gonna thaw it overnight, and then you'll just bake it at 375 for about 1 hour in the oven until those tater tots are nice and crispy and the actual casserole is nice and bubbly. So when it comes to storing these though, I like to store them with tin foil, but I definitely like to do a double layer of tin foil anytime that I'm putting anything in the freezer, and I've never had anything get freezer burnt this way. So here you just see me adding on my 2 layers, and then this is where I will write the instructions on the top. Then if I'm giving these away to anyone, or if my husband is cooking them, he knows exactly how to make the casseroles as well. If you have never made tater tot casserole before, this is definitely one you're going to want to try out. It makes the best freezer meal and it's so good. My family loves this. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite comfort foods. For this next recipe, I'm making some lemon pepper chicken. This is another crock pot meal, so it's really easy. Even when you take it out of the freezer, you're just gonna dump it in the crock pot and let it do its thing. Of course, I'm just writing on my bag first, so I don't have to do it after when it's filled with all of the ingredients. So you're basically just gonna cook this on high for 4 hours or on low for 6 hours. Now for this bag, I'm using a smaller one. So I just have a quart-size Ziploc, and then I'm throwing 2 chicken breasts right in there. You can also use chicken thighs for the recipe, and it also turns out really good that way. But now I'm just adding in 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, about a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, half a teaspoon of paprika, and then I'm also adding in about half a teaspoon of lemon pepper. The original recipe actually called for lemon juice, but I just skipped that and add the lemon pepper. I also add in just a little bit of some chili flakes as well as some salt and pepper. I like to do about a 1/4 teaspoon of each of those, and then I like to add in lots of minced garlic, a big heaping tablespoon here. I just love garlic in this recipe. And then I'm adding in about 3 tablespoons of butter, right into there, as well as about 3/4 of a cup of some chicken broth, and that's going to be it for this dump and go freezer meal. Super easy, just bag it up, throw it in your freezer, and then you will just throw it in the crock pot when you are ready to make it. Now this next little tip is something that I learned from my parents, and it's something they did growing up. So I have to share it with you guys. It's one of my all-time favorite things ever. But when I get ground beef on sale at our local grocery store, it usually goes on sale about once a month. So I will just stock up for the whole entire month. I cook up pretty much all of the ground beef all at one point, and then I'm able to just individually package it. It's all cooked and ready to go. So when I need to just pull it out for a really quick and easy recipe, it's all cooked. I don't even have to bother like thawing it out. All I do is I take it out of the Ziploc bag, and then I will put it on a plate, pop it in the microwave for just like a minute and a half, and it's perfectly defrosted and ready to go. You would have never known that it was in the freezer. It's seriously my favorite, and it makes for such an easy dinner night when you are in a hurry. That is actually going to wrap up this freezer meals video. I really hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you have not already. I would love to have you over on my channel. I share a lot of cooking content and easy recipes with a little bit of motherhood thrown in the mix. So if that is something that you're interested in, make sure you are subscribed. But I will catch you all in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.